Secrets to managing anxiety and stress. Hey, it's Zane here with you for Rock Solid Wellness, where my mission is to help you to think well, eat well, move well, and live well. You know, constant feelings of anxiety and stress are really becoming the new normal because there is so much uncertainty about the future. So if you're in the camp of about 95% of the population right now, then I want you to listen up to my message here today, where I'll share with you some perspective around anxiety and stress and some tips to help you manage your emotions and hopefully to take back control. Now, the first thing to realize is that anxiety is actually born out of uncertainty. And the reason for that is because it's caused by essentially worrying about things that you're predicting, inventing, or visualizing that haven't actually happened yet. So the good news is that anxiety is typically not born out of reality. In other words, it's actually a mind game or an illusion and a protective mechanism that we default to whenever we feel less certain about the future, or when we predict that bad things may be coming and we feel helpless to be able to control our response to those bad things. So right now, all around us, there are clear signs that things aren't right, and I'm sure you would agree with that. And the disruption to our mental state is really amplified in a negative way when things don't make sense. Or worse, we feel in our gut that we're being lied to by those who are meant to look out for the interests of the people. So, and I do believe that right now, this is the biggest source of anxiety and stress for most people. Yes, it's stressful, difficult, challenging. If you've lost your job, your business, your career, if you have relationship pressure or stress, if you can't travel, if you're feeling threatened, coerced, or manipulated into doing things that don't make sense or that you don't agree with. And if that's not all bad enough, then what's worse is when you feel powerless to change any of those things. So I believe that the true source of anxiety and stress for most people comes from feeling trapped, comes from feeling helpless, comes from feeling like you don't have a choice. And particularly in a democratic, free society like we've grown up in and have had around us in Australia, to have this negative and disruptive sentiment all of a sudden, when it's never existed before, is understandably for many, many people extremely anxiety-inducing. Any kind of radical disruption to our way of life, the things that we depend on, our view of the world and how things should be, whenever sudden events disrupt those things, it triggers anxiety and stress because you become less certain about the future. So part of managing stress and anxiety, therefore, really comes down to managing your emotional trigger points. You see, it's tough to feel anxious or stressed when the inducing stimulus is eliminated or at least greatly reduced or modified. And for this reason, I believe that one of the best things you can do right now is to start by managing your environment, the surroundings, the stimulus that trigger or amplify your stress and anxiety. And never before, has this been more important because of the incessant nature of the mainstream news and the propaganda machine that is pushing the narrative, that is driving the fear and the uncertainty. In other words, what you expose yourself to in terms of the information and your source of stimulus is the very first thing that you should be managing if you want to take control of your emotions and experience less anxiety and stress in your life right now. You see, I believe that those who can control their mental and emotional state through this disruptive period by being progressive, not passive, by moving with the times, by being smart about what they tune into, by adapting, by taking action, and by being prepared, those are the people who are not only going to survive, but thrive in this rapidly changing world. So sitting still right now, I believe, is a trap. Not working on yourself and your situation right now is a mistake. Feeling helpless right now is a debilitating emotion that really will not serve you. And so my message for you here is hopefully to encourage and empower you to build yourself right now, rather than to allow yourself to be broken down as so many people, even good, intelligent people, are allowing to happen. So now is the time to take stock of everything: your physical body, your emotional fitness, your mindset, your personal development, your source of income, and your financial protection. And I say this because myself personally, I've spent the past 18 months doing a lot of preparedness, soul searching. We've been enormously affected by COVID. In fact, I lost one of my businesses that I put my heart and soul into together with my wife for the past 15 years, our events company. But I've chosen to not dwell on the negative, but to find meaning and to work on myself more than ever before through this period. So if you're feeling like you've lost control, or that your way of life has been compromised, it's probably also causing an element of uncertainty, anxiety, and stress, and it's become, I would say, more ever present emotionally for you than it has ever before. So the real question is, what can you do about it? So here's a few tips that I'd like to offer you as suggestions that I think can help you along here. Number one is to control what you can control. Now, even if you don't feel like it, ultimately, when you strip back all of the noise, you really are still in charge. You are in charge of your entire experience and the actions you take. And the more responsibility you take for your experience, the more empowered you become and the more compelled you become to actually do something about it. And telling yourself that you have no choice repeatedly, or that you can't adapt to a changing environment, only serves to actually weaken your resolve. And that is a very dangerous place to be, in my view, particularly if you know that you're sacrificing your safety or your freedom for that. So my advice is to stop listening to the mainstream media. Get around positive people and online groups. Focus on yourself and your family and being the best version that you can be of yourself in the current situation. In other words, ask yourself, how can I benefit from the current environment? What opportunities does this present that did not exist before, or that you couldn't see before, when maybe you were so busy just subconsciously going through each day and your life? You see, sometimes it takes crisis, it takes disruption, it takes some kind of upheaval for us to really take stock of where we're at. And so really, for me, the last 18 months has been an opportunity to do some soul searching and to really take stock of my life and where I'm at. And it's presented the opportunity to practice greater self-awareness Ask yourself, what are your strengths? What can you be grateful for? What are you allowing to infiltrate your body and mind? In other words, I'm asking you to find the positives. Find the positives, because there are always positives in every situation. You can choose to have the glass half empty or half full. And so my suggestion is to have a glass half full approach, focus on the positives, and to put your focus there. So number one, again, is to control what you can control. So important right now. Secondly, is to move your body every single day. Now, you've heard me say it before, and I probably don't even need to repeat it to you, but it's so true that life is movement. And if you're not moving your body in a moderate way every single day, you're not doing yourself justice. You're not respecting yourself in a way that you and your body truly deserve. You can't possibly be the best version of you if you don't prioritize movement every single day. We are meant to move. Movement for me is such a priority that I do it without any conscious thought, without negotiation, first thing in the morning, every single day. And I've done that for the past 30 years now. And I do it because I know the impact that it has on me when, on the very rare occasions, for whatever reasons, I can't do it. You see, so much flows from being active in your body. You not only strengthen and support your body and its functions so that it can take care of you in return, but it also fosters creativity and expansion in your mind. And in times like these, an expansive, lateral thinking mind is absolutely essential if you want to thrive in these changing conditions. So, choose a level that works for you, your fitness level and your stage in life. But whatever it is, I encourage you to stretch yourself a little beyond possibly what you're doing right now. Because when you stretch yourself, that's where expansion and growth really starts to occur. So when it comes to movement, simple things. Break a sweat, challenge your lungs a little bit, put pressure on your muscles, on your cardiovascular system, create a little resistance. Don't be afraid to just push yourself. Doesn't have to be for a long period of time, 30 to 45 minutes a day. And I really don't care what you choose to do, but just do it every day and choose a level that you can absolutely stay consistent with is the most important thing. Because when you move your body every day, it has a ripple effect, not just on your physicality, but also on your mental and emotional state of mind as well. And it really helps you to approach life from a different level of vibration. So number 2, move your body every single day. Thirdly, when it comes to managing anxiety and stress, one of the best ways that you can take back some sense of control is to have a preparedness mindset. You see, sadly, too many people right now cannot see what's behind the curtain and what's coming down the pipe because they're only tuned into the mainstream news and the prevailing narrative. They don't understand or are unwilling to accept that the cover story we've had for the past 18 months is really just a facade or a Trojan horse, a smokescreen for the bigger story of what's planned and the way it's going to impact how we live and interact socially. And sadly, millions and millions of people are not seeing this, and they're going to be very, very much underprepared for what's coming. Now, I'm not here to be alarmist or to be conspiratorial or to spook you in any way, but if you're consciously aware of what's going on right now, and if you really look at what's happening and the facts, and once you start to educate yourself about the true state of the financial system, the history of money, the changing dynamics, and the logical alternatives as well, you really have no choice but to take action if you want to avoid being absorbed into the new social system. Now, I could do an entire audio session about what all of this means, because I've really made it my mission, I guess, over the past 18 months to become an avid student of global finance. And I simply want to say here that if you feel that things aren't right and it's giving you anxiety and stress and really amplifying your feelings of uncertainty towards the future, then the good news is that it's not too late to start educating yourself so that you can best prepare yourself and your family. So what does being prepared actually mean? Well, first of all, it means food and water. Okay, there are supply chain shortages going on all around the world right now. And if you're paying attention, you will notice those. And if you're tuning into the right news sources, you'll know all about it. And this situation is only going to actually get worse. So step number one is to ensure that you have at least 30 days, but hopefully 90 days worth of backup food, water. Very, very important if we really get a pinch when it comes to supply chains. It's so important also to get out of as much personal debt as you possibly can. It means securing as many extra sources of income as you can. And whatever that means for you, whether it's starting a new business, doing some trading on the side, whether it's working extra hours, whatever that means for you, it just means using this time to secure some extra sources of income if it's within your means to do that. It also means learning about the alternatives to the debt-based financial system that essentially we've been in for the past 50 years and has essentially been a monetary experiment that we're right now at the end of. And it's a system that never truly recovered from the GFC of 2008. So it's about taking steps to protect yourself financially and even outside the system if you can. Things like precious metals such as gold and silver, getting some cash out of the bank, as I like to call it, a stash of cash somewhere safe. As I say, extra food, water, security. And I'm also a big believer in this whole framework and this new financial system that's coming down the pipe as well, which is all about digital currency, cryptocurrency, and in particular, digital gold like Bitcoin. So you have an opportunity right now to either choose to learn about what's happening and to educate yourself more fully and to, take steps, prudent financial steps to protect yourself and your family, or not. And it's really a choice that you get to make. And yes, it's going to take some effort. It's going to take a willingness to want to learn and grow and to expand your horizons a little. But I really believe that if ever there was a time where this is important, it has to be now. It has to be now with the state of the global financial system. And, what I truly believe is going to be quite some upheaval in the months ahead. So the main takeaway for you today is how do you ease anxiety and stress? If you're feeling anxiety and stress right now, which as we've already mentioned is usually born out of uncertainty, how do we ease that? In one word, and that is by being proactive. The more you sit around and let things crumble around you and dictate to you, the more you feel helpless, the greater chance that you'll feel like you're being a victim or you're going to victimize yourself. So I ask you, please, don't feel helpless. It's a debilitating emotion and one that will not serve you in the long run. Everyone is going to survive. That's the good news. But the bad news is that only the strong and the prepared will thrive in this new world. Things are not going back to normal. And whatever you believe about that is your choice. But I'm very, very clear that the chances of things going back to the way that they were, it's just not even a consideration. Instead, we've got to be thinking about how we can adapt in this changing environment. And that doesn't mean that life can be bad. It means that there's actually an opportunity for humanity to experience a greater sense of autonomy and freedom than we've had for the longest time. I mean, we have to remember what our great-grandfathers and grandparents and ancestors and all these people stood for and what they were about and what they fought for. You know, a democratic free society like we have here. But all those core values are being challenged right now. So we have to do what we can to really look inward and to make sure that we're as prepared as possible and that we're not succumbing to these feelings of anxiety and stress, and that we don't allow that to become our prevailing predominant emotion right now. And that means doing the work. It means doing the work on our own personal development. It means being very conscious of what we're tuning into, controlling our environment. It means building ourselves physically, mentally, and emotionally. And it means doing the little things that are necessary to be as best prepared and as resilient as you can possibly be moving forward. When your way of life and everything you believe in and trust in is being challenged, that's the time to be proactive. That's the time to take stock, to be strong and to rise up and to become and to be the best version of you. And I believe that this is the secret to managing anxiety and stress and for taking back control. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you got some great value from today's episode, some little snippets that hopefully had an impact on you and you can take away and implement in your own life. So thank you for listening. This is Zane signing out, and until next time, stay strong and live well. I'll see you soon. Hey, it's Zane here, and thanks for listening. If you received value from today's episode and you'd like to see how I can help you at an even deeper level, I invite you to check out my Rock Solid Wellness online course and coaching programs. It's all about helping you to break through any limitations you may have and building strong, robust mind and body habits that put you in control. My at-home video course is a pre-recorded module training where we focus on boosting your mindset, nutrition, movement, and lifestyle. And if you'd like to work with me even more closely, I also offer group and private coaching to help you integrate the rock solid steps into your own life. To learn more about my online course or coaching programs, go to zanetruscott.com. Again, thank you for listening, and I look forward to serving you on your journey to rock solid wellness. If you got value from this episode, feel free to leave me a comment or review on your favorite podcast platform. I also appreciate any constructive feedback or topic suggestions so that I can keep improving and serve you best. Keep in mind that the content of this episode is for informational and inspirational purposes only and is not intended to replace any advice given to you by your doctor or healthcare professional. I do recommend that you consult your personal physician before acting on any of the information contained in this episode to determine its suitability for you. This is Zane Truscott signing out. Again, thanks for listening, and until next time, stay strong and live well.